All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Lackawanna City Council meeting caucus for Monday, April 7th, 2025. The caucus is used by the council members to discuss the individual agenda items. Usually our first opportunity to discuss this amongst ourselves as a body. Questions are asked, debates, whatever. And then at the general meeting, which follows the caucus, is where the voting takes place. Two things. The meeting is being recorded, so I would caution anyone present to be respectful of that issue since it is being recorded. Additional noise or whatever the case may be kind of interferes with that. And secondly, we do have a portion of the regular meeting which follows the caucus for hearings from citizens. As far as those hearings are concerned, anyone wishing to address the council will address the council from the podium. You need to sign the sheet indicating you wish to speak to the council. The sheet is on the podium currently, so that needs to be signed. And the discussion is usually limited to 3 minutes. The addressing of the council is limited to approximately 3 minutes and usually limited to agenda items. However, under other circumstances, it is possible to relax those rules. To that end, several first items up until departmental reports are administrative, and those will be handled during the regular meeting. Under communications from Mayor, number 5, Mayor Fowler requests City Council approve rescinding use of Veterans Stadium to LA Sports Club. The two requests were approved. These were approved on February 3rd, February 18th. And the reason that these are being requested to be rescinded is the stadium is under reconstruction at this point. It won't be ready apparently. But I would ask Kathy Moran, new Director of Parks and Recreation. Kathy, have these entities been notified that
yes.
So they're all aware that this is a possibility?
Yes.
And anything you wish to say for the public to hear?
We're waiting on National Grid. Dan's been on top of that as far as how the construction's going forward.
Okay, great.
So waiting to hear back.
Yeah, thanks, Kathy. Dan, anything on your end?
No, the last I spoke to National Grid was March 24th, and they're in the process of scheduling installation of the new electrical service. I don't have a date.
Is there a timetable as far as what it's going to take to complete and then put the grounds back in order? You know?
Well, once the new electrical service gets installed from National Grid, the contractor comes back. They have to bore underground to run all the electrical wires to the poles, to the lights. I don't have an exact time frame.
But it looks like it's going to be an involved amount of time.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Danny, you want to update them on the bleachers, add to the process?
Yes, and also speaking with the mayor, we're going to try to get them bleachers down soon. The old concrete grandstands.
Yeah. There's funding for that?
Yes, I believe, yes, there is.
Okay. Very good. Any council members have any questions or issues on item number 5?
In the meantime, will activities be deferred to Memorial?
Some have been. We're trying to. We're trying to locate other options, you know, for some of the things that happen there. But for softball, they're going to Memorial so far.
Is the lighting up at Memorial?
We have no lights at Memorial. We have no lights anywhere but the stadium. So we have to watch the schedule as far as sunset and stuff like that.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And just as an aside before we continue, present is our former city attorney, John Gahn. I meant to say this earlier, who is now Judge Gahn. He's present here, and he was kind enough to step in to answer any questions that may arise as to matters that have happened in the past that he was part of. He is no longer able, given his new position, to render any opinions or advice on any legal matters for the city council from the point he was appointed to this point, or forward. So Judge Gahn, we appreciate your being here this evening, and hopefully after the caucus, we'll know whether we need you to stay or not. And so if not, feel free to leave, and I'm sure you might want to do that anyway.
Absolutely, thank you.
Great, thank you. All right, moving on to item number 6, again from Mayor Arfalo, request City Council approve a resolution to waive residency requirement for new city attorney Ariana Kwiatkowski. That is John Gahn's replacement. Any council members have any issues with that or questions? Okay, moving on to communications from Division Department Officer number 7, from Senior Foreman Dan Griffin, request City Council approve proposed updates, chapters 190 and 191 of City Code. Proposed changes are in response to New York State garbage collection fees report of examination that was completed in 2022. There were documents attached. Are those documents available in the clerk's office for review if the public wants to review them, Grace?
Yes.
Dan, anything you want to add on this?
No, the only thing I wanted to say is the last time this code was updated was 2013. In 2022, New York State came in, they recommended some changes. A few of the changes, for example, in the one section, it's recycling containers are provided by the city. We took that out. The city no longer provides recycling containers for the residents. Another thing is the grass clippings. We no longer pick up grass clippings. We're participating in the New York State Leave It on the Lawn program, which started April 1st. Another change was the branch schedule. We have a branch schedule now for picking up branches. It's the first full week of every month on your garbage day. And then Section 190-12 is for updating code enforcement for debris being left on people's lawns. Before they had a notice of 48 hours. Now I guess on the notice it actually has a date when the resident needs to respond by. And they also increased the fees for the fines.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
If I may.
Yes.
There was a lot of garbage on Electric Avenue. I just drove up there. Are those people legal or those big piles all along there?
They'll probably put them out early for bulk week. They're bulk, this week's bulk week.
Oh, this week?
This week is bulk week, so they probably put it out, early.
First week of, okay.
So code enforcement usually
First
drives
full-
around and
First full week.
Yeah,
So that's next month.
yeah. This
I
is,
got it.
yep.
Okay. I'm thinking it's already done.
No, no.
Okay.
Well, Danny, excuse me, it's
Yeah,
this week,
sure.
right?
It's this week. Yeah, it's this week.
It's this week. Councilman Sawyer.
Huh?
Bulk week is this week.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
All right, anyone else on that agenda item number 7?
So,
No? Yes.
for the clippings, the grass clippings and yard waste, that's a recommendation from the state because they're pushing for this particular,
Yeah, New York State Department of Environmental and Planning, they do it, Leave It on the Lawn program. It's supposed to cut down on waste going to the landfills for the grass, and it's apparently supposed to be better for your grass if you leave it on there, if you leave your grass clippings on the grass.
okay, this could get a little dicey, and I only, I prefer to have my clippings picked up, and I'm speaking, of course, on behalf of myself and other residents that actually reached out to me in regards to this particular part. The other parts they didn't have an issue with, but is there an option where we can allow certain residents who don't want to leave their clippings on the grass to be picked up?
At this time, the plan was not to pick up grass clippings.
And that's pushed by the state,
Correct.
although we're not bound to subscribe to that.
And it's a significant cost savings also. Believe it or not, wet grass is very heavy. So the cost we pay for our dumping fees during the summer goes way up because we do so much grass.
Right, but
So there's a substantial savings there too.
But it's supplemented by taxpayer dollars, so it's a service that taxpayers actually pay for. However, that service is no longer going to be available to them.
And there's also some discussion as to the leaving the clippings and leaves on the lawn is also a benefit to help the bee population survive, which apparently is in some crisis. And obviously, they're the pollinators and the farmers need them. So there's some indication that it's healthier for the bees also. Take it for what it's worth. Anyone else? If not, moving on to item number 8, Director of Parks and Recreation, Kathy Moran. Request City Council approve the use of Memorial Field by OLV girls varsity softball team from April 9th through May 30th. Insurance will be provided. Dr. Moran, anything on that?
No, they've used Veterans Stadium in the past for a number of years, and with that not being available, we discussed Memorial as the next best option for them.
Any council members have any questions or comments on item number 8? Moving on to item number 9, Director of Parks and Recreation, Kathy Moran, requests City Council approve changes in fees for the various city-owned fields and parks, i.e. Galani Park, shelter fees, cleaning deposit, residential versus non-residential fees, as well as various leagues fees. Kathy, you want to give a brief synopsis on that? And in particular, how you arrive at the new figures?
We increased the fees for the shelter just slightly, just to cover our costs. We're not really covering our costs on the rental fee for the shelter. So if we increase them a little bit at least this year, maybe we can cover those costs. The softball and kickball leagues that we cover, those fees haven't been changed in a long time as far as I know either. Checked with some other municipalities, their fees are a lot higher. However, we don't have access to the stadium again, so the thinking was to keep the fees the same this year, and then next year, once everything's back up and running, we can increase those fees. There's also other leagues that call and ask to use, have used the stadium and Memorial in the past, and in comparison to other municipalities as well, we're pretty low on those fees.
Yeah.
So.
There's been some discussion about taking a look at all of that and revising it upwards, so thank you for that initiative.
Mm-hmm.
Any council members have any comments on item number 8? I'm sorry, item number 9. If not, moving on to communications from citizens. Number 10, Lynette Welch, owner of Ice House Pub, requests City Council approve entertainment license and dates requested for outdoor music during June, July, August. Item was tabled at the March 18th, 2025 council meeting. Any council members wish to be heard on this? All right. Moving on to item number 11, communication from Duane Jones, Global Concepts Charter School. Request City Council approve Commissioner D status for 5 employees of the school. The list is attached and apparently could be handled in total instead of individually, which might be a good idea. Anyone have any comments on item number 11? Moving on to entertainment licenses, Class 1 live music and or mechanical reproduction, Abbott Lane's Curly's Grill, Matthew Gladpost Villa Banquet Center, Sunny Reg, and Jokers. Any council members have any comments on those applications?
I do in regards to the hours applying for. I know this came up in our previous discussions in regards to the way it's worded on the application. So like, I'll pick Joe for example, their hours that they're applying for is 12 p.m. to 4 a.m., which is problematic in a sense that we rejected other ones that were listed as such. So I just don't know if this is in fact their request for operating the music or if this is their regular business hours.
I can't, Grace, you have an answer for that? I mean, is the application automatic go to 4 a.m.?
No, it doesn't
I
automatically
understand-
go to 4 a.m.
I understand that the music, indoor music might not be a problem, but outdoor music obviously could be, whether it's mechanical or live, could be a problem until 4 a.m. The question is, the council doesn't have to approve the application to 4 a.m., could modify it or reject it or table it for further discussion with the applicant. So that is an option. It was the way this is structured procedurally, we could take all the applications en masse, or we can leave one or two out, or however, if there are questions about any, that can be tabled, or whatever the council wants to do, or approve or not approve. So it's up to the council members how they want to handle each one.
And then the same thing with Sunday Reds, it's a 4 AM cutoff time. I just want to make sure that the establishment knows that, or we should understand what their intentions are as far as when they applied for their license. Is their intention to operate music indoors till 4 AM, which in some situations, although I don't live right behind any of these restaurants, I would think that the music doesn't permeate through. But in the event that I did, I may have a different opinion. So I don't live near either of these to know where the music threshold lies.
Yeah, and I think just coming to mind, I mean, if it's a jukebox and you put in money to listen to a certain record, should that be prohibited even if it's, 3:30 in the morning, if somebody should be there, versus a live band on premises indoors, or a sound system being operated, one record after another at 4 o'clock in the morning? You're right. It can bleed over or creep over into surrounding neighbors.
And then our application actually specified whether it's the coin operated versus live band, live music or mechanical reproduction, which in both forms, that class 1 was selected. So it isn't a jukebox where it's at random. It's pretty clear that their intentions are live music with mechanical reproduction. Both at 4 AM.
Then the council could entertain a motion to table pending further information, could entertain an outright motion to reject certain or all, or an outright motion to approve certain ones or all of them. It depends on who makes the motion and how it's worded, I guess.
If I may, what did you say, live music till 4 AM?
There's 2 applications that
It
indicate,
says right on here, it says live music must cease at 11 PM. Mechanical reproduced music must cease at 4 AM. It's right on here, on the application.
Is that,
Right? Is that-
Mhm.
So I didn't understand what Councilwoman said.
based on
on their application, or on their, what they
the
selected?
selection,
Yeah, they selected 4 AM.
right, and they selected class 1, which includes live music and mechanical
Right.
reproduction. So although there's stipulations within their application reads between noon till 4 AM.
Right, I see that now.
Yeah. So,
But right under it, it says different.
well, if you recall, we tried, because the applications were even more confusing in the past.
No, this
We
is
tried to
better.
do that.
Yeah, this is better.
It's an improvement, but obviously there's still confusion.
Right, it's just
We
that
we gotta separate the live music and the mechanical.
It
you know
says
what I
live
mean?
music must cease at 11 PM.
That's because we
Well-
have an ordinance, noise ordinance.
Okay, I think what might be suggested is these individual items need to be defined more appropriately. What is mechanical music? What does it entail? Does it entail a sound system, a DJ, a jukebox, whatever?
Right.
And all that needs to be perhaps addressed versus live music, and when that can be,
Well, sound system would be reproduced, mechanical reproduced.
yeah, but on one hand, where the jukebox is a self-contained item, the speakers are there, you can't really adjust the sound beyond a certain point. If you have a sound system, it's wide open.
I think the jukeboxes are, you can,
Well, you can adjust it, but not the same
But
thing
they're
as
not
sound system.
blaring, they're not blaring like a system.
right.
Right, they're like in a corner.
They don't have 10-inch woofers, right?
Right.
I mean, you don't walk into the place and your heartbeat changes, your heart rhythm changes because
Depends
the
on
beat
song,
of
Nancy.
the bass is going in the other direction,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
But I think what the councilwoman's suggesting is that the 4 AM is applying to the live music. Is that what you're saying?
Based on what they check. But we all understand that the city ordinance, which was adopted and listed here, is that all live music must cease at 11, and reproduced music must cease at 4 AM. However, the establishment needs to understand that.
Oh,
We
yeah,
understand
yeah.
it,
Oh, yeah.
they need to understand it, because they're gonna say, well, I applied to end at 4 AM, therefore I should be granted that right.
So should we send them a notice or something? You know what I mean?
Well,
If it's approved?
if it's approved, it should be probably stipulated with language that it's approved to be in conformity with the current ordinance and enforceable under the language of the current ordinance. And that would entail what each of those mechanical versus live
Right.
music situations arise, so. But then it's in the hands of the building inspectors and the police department to enforce those.
Right.
The problem we have is the complaints we get when the rules aren't being abided by.
Yeah, we can't go out to nothing.
It's like,
Do we have decibel meters in the city?
Dino, we have electronic decibel measuring devices, correct?
Not that I'm aware of. I
was
can
told-
check with,
Yeah. I
There's
think
do we got one, Bill?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Was it ever used?
Not in my tenure.
Yeah, we've had issues in the past with, especially live outdoor music. I mean,
Well, yeah, if you get a written complaint from the police and it says the decibels were 120 or, 130, well, then obviously we have something to go by, you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
At a certain.
Well, don't we have to, as a body, also concern ourselves with regular breaches of those rules and whether or not we even want to issue an entertainment license for an establishment, correct? I mean, we don't have to issue a license if there's flagrant violations on a regular basis,
Right.
right?
But do we have anything on complaints in writing like that?
Why does it have to be in writing?
Oh, as far as the decimal readings?
I don't know if I'm sure there've been several phone calls. I've received phone calls
Yeah.
myself several times. And in one instance, I couldn't hear what the person who was calling was saying because the music was so loud.
I got you.
So, yeah, I mean, we've been wrestling with this
I know, that's why I'm trying to.
and we're trying to balance that with the businesses, trying to stay in business these days, which is
Right.
difficult in
Right.
of itself. So, yeah, it's a balancing act, but you still have to be a good neighbor, right? That's my opinion. I know, anyone else have anything on this?
How are we gonna handle them individually? Or just together with the caveat of referring to the ordinance cutoff limit times?
It's, I don't have a problem with necessarily approving these with the caveat that they must be within the jurisdictional limitations set forth in the city ordinance. It then becomes an enforcement issue, which raises its own issues and its own problems.
But that would come naturally regardless of anything,
It should be the logical extension.
right? But would they need to amend their business registration form?
We can approve what we approve without a blanket approval of their application. So in other words, we don't have to approve live outdoor music till 4 AM. We can say, no, you gotta go according to the statute, which says live music ends at 11 AM or 11 PM. Does that, unfortunately, I don't think that clears it up very much. It still leaves room for,
There's always room for error, but I think if the establishment understands that the city ordinance supersedes any of the requests, then that should be,
well, that's a controlling factor, I think. And the problem, again, is as the fourth ward council member and I just discussed, if there is a history and a track record and a pattern of abuse of that license, we don't have to approve the
and at the
license.
same time, we can rescind if that becomes a habitual pattern.
Yes, but you have due process then. You have to go through the steps of having a hearing. Proof it has to be put forth, and we have to make a decision accordingly. So what happens in the meantime, if several weeks go by and the music is on the weekend still continues to be significantly disruptive?
And at the same time, we don't want to disrupt the business from operating either. Like, that's the last thing you want to do, is to create an issue where they're not able to.
The way I look at it today, I am no longer as concerned about that as I am of businesses being a good neighbor.
Okay.
Specifically because I'm getting some of the phone calls, and these people have every right to complain. And if it goes on, if it's a pattern on a regular basis, then whatever we have instructed as far as our caution to those business applicants is ignored. So how do you treat that then?
Right.
Do you just look the other way and say, okay, we want you to behave yourself this time? Because I know in the last 4 years you haven't. I'm not going to go that route. I can tell you right now, I'm done. I don't want to get phone calls like this anymore. And I don't think, and it's similar to the issue that we had with Airbnbs. People have a right to quiet enjoyment in their neighborhoods. It's residential. You may be bordering on a commercial area, but you still have to be a good neighbor, in my opinion. The other people may have a different opinion, obviously. Anyone else have any comments? All right, so what I would think when we get to the entertainment licenses, we would take them individually.
Okay.
And, okay, also Class 2 business, coin-operated mechanical reproduction, Daggerty's at 1254 Atlantic Avenue. Anyone have any comments on that? Business registrations, Paint of Western New York, Belize LLC, Buffalo's Erie Sign and Lighting, Total Quality Assurance International. Anyone have any comments on those business registrations? We were given the appropriate backup on that. There's been a request to waive the rules. Access of Western New York requests the use of Lackawanna Senior Center for the annual Arab American Heritage Celebration. I am on the board of directors for that organization, so I will recuse myself on that vote. And then there's the LA Village Inc., Ridge Road, Ali Shawish gas station and convenience store that everyone's looking forward to.
I'm so upset John Ingram's not here today.
Yeah,
He would be so proud of you, Ali.
yeah. Okay, anyone have any comments on those? If not, then back to the table items, remove item number 15 from the table. So table March 18, 2025 council meeting regarding the sale of 3140 South Park Avenue to Amana Enterprises. And Chuck, I know you asked to put this on the agenda, and I'm glad you did, because I think what this council needs is a current and an update. Our discussions with selling this property were several faceted. The primary one is that there is continued movement towards the finalization of the purchase by this entity of the adjoining property, which then would give rise and trigger a possible sale by the city of that corner vacant lot the city owns. And I think the concern of this body is that there is and continues to be progress. If not, then we would entertain possibly a cancellation. But again, another issue comes up that I mentioned the last time, and that is there is not a signed contract, and in New York State, you need a signed contract by the parties to be charged to have it an enforceable sale of real property. There is no signed contract. So the city has that option at its disposal too. Not that it wants to exercise that, but in good faith, everybody's moving I would think in an appropriate direction, although I'm sure you put this on for that purpose. Would you bring us up to speed?
Sure. So just to step back a little bit, the properties in question are the former Pat McCusker tax building at 3044 South Park. That is the primary parcel driving this transaction. The adjoining parcel next door, 3140 South Park, the request was to buy that property to use it for additional parking. Okay, so the sale of the 3140 parcel won't happen without a sale closing on 3040. In January, we met with the principal of Amana, laid out some timeframes that we hoped to get the closing done by, which was March 20th. We did not hear anything back at the time. And so that triggered an immediate reaction, so that when I say no feedback, there was no feedback from the principal, there was no feedback from his attorney, despite numerous outreaches from our own city attorney. So that necessitated the action, or at least precipitated the action that we put before you, that you tabled. Since then, I have had direct conversations with the principal of Amana, and I believe that there is much more progress being made than we thought. And a lot of what is holding up the movement of this transaction is out of his control in relation to the 3040 South Park Avenue building. He can't move forward with anything if everything from the search and survey and other things related to the closing of that building occur. So, and then there was a second part of this. It was identified that Amana was not a registered business in the city. So Clerk Morano got that process in motion, and as part of the conversation I had with the principal, both of these things are moving as quickly as possible, and it would be my recommendation that we give the principal a little more time to proceed with this process and not rescind at this point, keeping in mind that if they never close on the 3040 South Park parcel, we never close on the sale of the city-owned property. We still own it. So other than time, our risk is minimal. So again, the scenario we had when I put this on the agenda was we weren't hearing anything. We thought this was dead in the water, and we said, let's move on. Since that time, it's been clear that there were maybe some communication matters that could have been better, but nonetheless, there is progress, significant progress, and it's simply a matter of, any of us who have dealt with real estate know that it can get up in a process and doesn't come down for a while. It's moving as fast as it can. So if you were to ask me where I am today, I'm in a far different place than when I put this on the agenda before, and I would ask your consideration to give the principal a little more time.
Thank you, John. Any council members have any questions or comments on this last item?
So there's no need to remove it from the table? Is that what it comes down to? Because if we don't act on it, it goes away anyways.
I would defer to you, but I'm not asking you to take any action on the rescinding.
Okay.
Well, at the very least, we should move to continue it on the table.
Removing it from the table or leave it on the table?
Just
ignore
move
it?
to continue it on the table.
Oh, okay.
It dies after 90 days.
Right.
So I can't give you legal advice on that, but trust the fourth ward councilman on that.
It just goes away after 90 days.
Just for the record, I want to say the addresses are 3140 South Park, that's the vacant lot. And then the lot next door is 3144, not 3040. I'm just saying that for the
I
record.
thought it was 3104.
Oh, so there's
3144.
so the email had it incorrect, as I quoted what was in the email. I got you. So it's 3144 is the McCusker building, and 3140 is the corner lot.
Right.
Thank you, sir.
3104 is a credit union. I keep getting mixed up.
So if we move to continue the item on the table, it's newly tabled as of today, isn't it?
Technically, you don't have to move. It just stays on the table for 90 days
That's
or
what
it
I'm trying to avoid.
disappears.
I don't want to run into the 90-day issue. So if we move it to continue on the table, it's a new continuation today, 90 days starts running from today.
True, but you technically don't have to do that because the request back in March was to rescind the offer. This is just sitting on the table. The request to rescind will be taken off.
Yeah, but the original tabling of that item, the 90 days is running on that. So how many days do we have left is what I'm saying. So if action is not taken to continue it on the table, it might expire in 2 weeks or another month. or something.
Correct, it would expire in 90 days, but then the only way that what you previously orally stated that the sale could go through, the administration would have to bring it back before the council in order to readdress it. So technically, you don't have to move, the 90 days expires and everything is still fine and nobody loses any rights.
Right.
The city or the individual who, or the entity that may want to purchase it.
But it would require a new agenda item.
Correct, somebody would have to bring it back on,
Whereas if we continued the tabling of it, they wouldn't have to do that.
correct.
But we'll defer to you because you now have the black robe and that changes
No,
everything.
no. You proved your point, Your Honor, and, but do what you feel comfortable.
It's
Can I just be clear on what we just said here? So there was an action taken to allow the sale of this land. So are we talking about the rescinding that you're worried about the 90 days, or are you asking, do I have to
I'm
bring?
not worried about rescission at all.
Okay,
Since we're not entertaining that.
okay.
All we're doing is continuing by motion. It could even be considered what's known in legal terms, a tolling of the time period. Continuing the tabling of this item as of today's date, which moves it out 90 more days, instead of having 60 days left or 45 days left, which we as, get involved in other items and we lose track of things. And I don't want to necessarily have that happen here. But what John said is, obviously, if it expires because the 90 days is run, it's got to be, the process has to be started all over again. Do we want to do that? If we can just make a motion today saying we're going to continue it with the 90 days running, starting today again. So that's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
But we can do whatever the council wants to do.
The rescinding motion, we're not gonna rescind it. So
Yes.
just let it disappear.
Do whatever the council
I
wants.
think, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what I was saying, if we just don't remove it from the table, then it just continues, but I also understand the president's stance on if we do remove it from and then table it again, is that what you're
Right.
requesting?
And we're just a simple continuation.
Okay, that's cool.
So, but I'll leave that up to you. Anything else? If not, I'm calling this formal meeting to order for April 7th, 2025. With the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. City Clerk, roll.
Maflahe, present. Anderson.
Here.
Lloyd is excused. Sirdike. Morano.
Here.
Law Department is absent. Development and Marketing.
Here.
Public Works.
Here.
Public Safety.
Here.
Comptroller.
Here.
Recreation.
Here.
Hearings from citizens.
We have three individuals who want to address the city council. The first is Mr. Vanyo, or is that Ron?
Ron.
Okay, I couldn't read that letter. You're welcome to stand at the podium and address us.
So obviously we're here for the band license or music license. I guess we've never had an issue that we know of We know 98% of the police officers that are in this building. To us, it's critical for our business. Obviously, during COVID,
I didn't understand what you said about our police officers. Could you expound on that a little bit?
we know 98% of them, so.
You know 98% of them?
Right.
And how is that a factor here?
So if there was complaints, we would be hearing it from them, because they come in, they would say, we have complaints.
So they're patrons of your establishment?
Right, they all come, they come for lunch, or they come for dinner, or drink after work, whatever it is. But, I mean, we don't hear complaints from anybody. I mean, we used to have one complaint coming from down the street on the right side, and I'm sure we still get the complaints from them.
Do you recall last time you applied for the entertainment license and the council sent you a letter outlining the complaints and asking you to address those complaints, in particular the volume of the speakers outdoors? Do you recall any of that? Sir, I'm addressing.
I don't.
No, please.
I don't. Personally, I don't.
You asked to say this. Are you a representative of the Ice House?
I am a half owner.
Okay, so you're not aware of that letter that came from the city council?
No, unless my partner handled it, which apparently she did.
Okay, well, she's not on the list to speak.
All right.
So I'm addressing that to you. I can assure you that letter went out, and we received assurances that those items would be addressed. And whether they were or they weren't, I'm not here to debate that.
Do you know when that letter went out?
No, that's your obligation. I'm not here to answer your questions. I'm not here to answer your questions.
So,
you answer
there
our
was something about
Let's
us.
understand this, okay? You wanted to address us, and we'll ask you questions. If you want to ask us questions, you're in the wrong forum,
All right.
okay? Go ahead. Can you?
So there was something about a decimal reader.
It boils down to loud noise.
Right.
Okay.
So we don't have bands outside past 7 o'clock on the weekends in the summer. It's normally 3 to 7, which is afternoon. I mean, I don't know of any complaints we ever had about it. Inside, we normally go till midnight with our bands. It's for 4 hours. And the bands and the karaoke, they support our business. And obviously during COVID, 50% of the bars, restaurants closed in New York, or I guess we should say the city of Buffalo, Lackawanna, the area, Western New York. I mean, we need that to make our business succeed. Nobody goes out no more unless you have some. So we have karaoke, we have bands in the summer on the patio. We do Texas Hold'em poker, we do a couple other things, but we need that to stay alive. I mean, we do.
And we appreciate that, and we appreciate the fact that you're located here. And as was said earlier, we're trying to balance your surviving in business with the common enjoyment of the residents surrounding your establishment, especially in the nice weather. So let me ask you this question. How do you control the volume of the outside music?
With the remote control inside.
Okay, do you have live?
So we had outside speakers.
Do you have outside speakers now?
Right, which I guess.
Is that yes or no?
That's a yes,
Okay.
which we're removing them. We already called them to remove the outside
Okay,
speakers.
but do you have live music outside?
3 to 7 on the
And
weekend.
how do you control the volume of the live music?
We don't actually control, it's the band.
Well, okay, so that's wide open, correct?
Yeah, pretty much wide open.
And how do you think that affects the neighbors?
We do have a decimal reader.
Well, that's not my question. Did you use the decibel reader?
I have not personally, no.
Okay, well, you're the one who's here speaking
Right.
to us,
Yeah,
right?
and I'm answering you honestly, no.
Oh, okay. So there could very well be a problem in that neighborhood because you exceed the decibel limitation set by law, and the neighbors have to endure that while you carry on your outdoor activities, correct?
And, correct, we do hang one inside, not outside. I am not opposed to hanging one outside.
Hanging what
A
outside?
decimal reader.
Well, I don't think that's the point. The point of the matter is, you already said earlier, you don't control the volume of the band. The band controls its own volume.
Outside.
So you could have decimal readers all over the place, and that's not gonna go anywhere if the band sets their own tone.
Outside, unless if I had a decimal reader
Well-
outside. I have one inside.
Okay,
so-
it's inside, I don't think is an issue, right?
No, if I have one outside, which I don't have a problem putting one outside, then I will just check the band as they're playing.
And that would be very nice if you had one outside, but I don't think that that carries the day if the band is live and it sets its own volume.
Right, but, well, if they're inside and they're too loud,
Okay,
I
let's
turn them
do.
down.
Okay, bear with me, because I'm slow.
All right,
Let's take this one step at a time. Let's stay outside.
all right,
You have live bands outside, correct?
correct, 3 to
Do you
7.
have a decibel reader outside?
No,
Okay, did you state earlier that there is no control or volume control over the band sets their own volume?
yes.
Okay.
So I don't have a problem putting one outside.
Well, we're
To
not here to
control it.
decide that today. You can have as many decibel readers as you want, wherever you want. The point of the matter is, how does it affect the neighborhood? Because the band sets their own volume, not your decibel readers, correct?
Well, if you press the button on the decimal reader.
I don't want to know any more about that. I know how they work.
All right,
It's
so
not gonna
all
do
I
us
do
any
is tell the
good.
band to lower their volume. That's
But
it.
have you ever done that?
Inside,
Have you ever done that outside?
no.
Okay. Anything else you want to say?
No, well, I guess our business, we need the license for our business. And obviously, we've been there for 9 years. Everybody, I would assume everybody knows what it used to be, the Cherry Stone, which was pretty rough, and we sink a lot of money into it. We sweep the streets, we keep it clean. I mean, I think we made a huge improvement in the 9 years. I don't think we've ever been a burden to anybody.
And like I said, we're here trying to balance your staying in business with certain entertainment and our obligations to the community surrounding your establishment, which we've heard many complaints about. And you just admitted you don't set the volume on your live entertainment outside, which may be the problem.
Yeah, if we can't survive over there and we board it up, doesn't do anybody any good.
Well, at least it's quiet, correct? And everybody, a consequence comes with everything. But what I would suggest is you go take a look at that letter that your business partner got that you didn't read about the complaints we had before when we didn't issue the entertainment license until we set certain rules that you had to follow that were agreed to by your business partner. I suggest you, as a responsible business owner, familiarize yourself with that letter because that's important.
Read the letter in front of you. Read what's in front of you, it says.
Anything else?
No.
All right, thank you. Mr. Lorden?
I'm here as the number one complaint for the loud music. I have been 2 blocks away from the band, down on Leo, listening to the music. Now, the city code, which I got a copy right here, says you cannot hear the music 50 feet past their property line in the afternoon. Doesn't say anything about night, but it's right here in the city code. If you want to, I got it right here.
I understand.
159.5-A says you can only hear the music 50 feet past their property line. Like I said, I'm on Leo and I'm listening to music.
Yeah, and I've had people call me
Oh,
who
yeah.
live near Victory Playground saying they hear the
Oh, yeah.
music there.
Yep. And like I said, if they want to go by the code and stay with 50 feet from the property line, I have no problem with outside. But I can't, I'm living in 19 Victory, I can't even hear my television. That's all I have to say.
Thank you. Matt Adams,
Do I get to respond to that or no?
this isn't a debate.
I'm here in the same board as Mr. Lorden. I do have a video if you guys like to see from September 21st.
What is of it?
It's a video so you can hear that I started recording at the corner of Crescent and Victory with sound, walking up the block, and you can clearly hear the music being played.
From the ice house?
Yes, at 3:09 PM when they started at 3 o'clock. So, I don't know if you'd like me to bring it up or,
You try it from there.
so there's the video so you can see how far down the street I am.
Can you turn the volume up?
That's as high as it goes.
Okay.
You're on the corner of Victory and Crescent?
Yeah, right now I'm probably 3 houses from the corner as I'm walking up.
Are you still moving?
Yep, I'm walking the entire time,
Walking away or towards?
walking up the street towards my house.
How far away from the establishment are
I'm 4 houses down, this is just coming to my house, my front door now.
And I'm sorry, you live on?
Victory, 26. So, I mean, starts at 3, like, I don't care about live bands, live music, I just don't wanna hear it in my house or my backyard that far away. If I worked midnights, I wouldn't be able to sleep. I set up a TV on the back deck for my wife to sit there with a daybed. She can't sit outside from 3 to 7 because she can't hear anything. So it's just an ongoing issue. I don't call the police, I don't really make issues because, quite frankly, for me, is it a big deal as a taxpayer? Yes, but as, in the grand scheme of things of the city, I'm sure the police have better things to do, and normally on the weekends, they're a lot busier, so I don't want to inundate them with something that's trivial to some, but not to others.
you? Well, we appreciate you being here. Anything else?
So all I have is just strictly the outdoor.
And how often would you say that this is an occurrence?
Every Saturday from 3, starting at 3, I can hear it at my house.
Is it Saturday and Sunday or just Saturday?
Normally it's every Saturday. Sundays, they don't always have a band, but there are some. So if there's outdoor music with the large speakers, then yes, I can hear it.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, that's the hearings from citizens. Do you continue with the agenda?
Approval of the minutes of the regular meeting of March 18th, 2025, and the special meeting of March 25th, 2025.
Morano moves to adopt minutes of regular meeting March 18th and the special meeting of March 25th, 2025 is written.
Maflahe seconds.
Motion by Morano, second by Maflahe, to adopt minutes of the regular meeting of March 18th and the special meeting of March 25th, 2025, as written. Maflahe?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Moretti? Sirdike?
Yes.
Morano?
Yes.
Carried 4-0. Departmental reports 1 through 4.
Morano moves to receive and file departmental reports 1 through 4 inclusive.
Maflahe seconds.
Motion by Morano, second by Maflahe, to receive and file departmental reports 1 through 4. Maflahe?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Sirdike?
Yes.
Morano?
Yes.
Carried 4-0. Mayor, I file a request the City Council approve rescinding the use of Veterans Stadium to LA Sports Club. 2 requests were approved. These were approved at the February 3rd, February 18th council meetings. The property is not safe due to construction in the stadium lighting project.
Morano moves to rescind the use of Veterans Stadium.
Second, Sirdike.
Motion by Morano, second by Sirdike, to rescind the use of Veterans Stadium. Maflahe?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Sirdike?
Yes.
Morano?
Yes.
Carried 4-0. Mayor, I follow request the City Council approve the resolution to waive the residency requirement for the new city attorney, Ariana Kwiatkowski.
Morano moves to receive and file act on resolution.
Maflahe seconds.
Motion by Morano, second by Maflahe, to receive and file act on resolution. Maflahe?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Sirdike?
Yes.
Morano?
Yes.
Carried 4-0. A resolution waiving the residency requirement, section 5-38 of the city charter, to appoint the new city attorney. Employment start date is April 16, 2025.
Morano moves to adopt resolution as written.
Maflahe seconds.
Motion by Morano, second by Maflahe, to adopt resolution as written. Maflahe?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Sirdike?
Yes.
Morano?
Yes.
Carried 4-0.
And we'd like to thank, again, one more time, Judge Gahn for his service to this council and the city during the time that he was here. It was exemplary. John, thank you very much.
He's gone.
It's his last name.
Senior Foreman of Public Works requests the City Council approve the proposed update to Chapter 190 and 191 of the City Code. The proposed changes are in response to the New York State Garbage Collection Fees Report of Examination that was completed in 2022. Documents are attached.
Morano moves to approve request.
Anderson second.
Motion by Morano, second by Anderson, to approve request. Maflahe?
No.
Anderson?
Yes.
Sirdike?
Yes.
Morano?
Yes.
Carried 3-1. Director of Parks and Recreation requests the City Council approve the use of Memorial Field by the OLV girls varsity softball team from April 9th through May 30th, 2025. Insurance will be provided.
Morano moves to approve request.
Anderson second.
Motion by Morano, second by Anderson to approve request. Maflahe?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Sirdike?
Yes.
Morano?
Yes.
Carried 4-1. 4-0. Director of Parks and Recreation requests the City Council approve changes in fees for the various city-owned fields and parks. Example, Galani Park shelter fees, cleaning and deposit, residential versus non-residential fees, as well as various league fees.
Morano moves to approve request.
Maflahe seconds.
Motion by Morano, second by Maflahe to approve request. Maflahe?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Sirdike?
Yes.
Morano?
Yes.
Carried 4-0. Lynette Welch, owner Ice House Pub, requests the City Council approve the entertainment license and the dates requested for outdoor music during June, July, and August. This item was tabled at the March 18th, 2025 council meeting.
Any motion to approve the request? Request fails for lack of a motion.
Request fails due to a lack of a motion. DeJuan Jones Global Concepts Charter School requests the City Council approve Commissioner of Deeds status for 5 employees of the school. List is attached.
Morano moves to approve Commissioner D status and
Maflahe seconds.
Motion by Morano, second by Anderson to approve Commissioner of Deeds status in total. Maflahe?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Sirdike?
Yes.
Morano?
Yes.
Carried 4-0. Entertainment licenses, Class 1 live music and/or mechanical reproduction. Abbott Lanes, Curly's Grill, Matthew Black Post, the Villa Banquet Center, Sunny Reds, and Jokers.
Morano moves to approve Class 1 entertainment license for Abbott Lanes.
Second, Sirdike.
Motion by Morano, second by Sirdike to approve the Class 1 entertainment license for Abbott Lanes. Maflahe?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Sirdike?
Yes.
Morano?
Yes.
Carried 4-1. Curly's Grill?
Morano moves that Curly's Grill and Banquet Center approve Class 1 entertainment license.
Maflahe seconds.
Motion by Morano, second by Maflahe to approve entertainment license for Curly's Grill. Maflahe?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Sirdike?
Yes.
Morano?
Yes.
Carried 4-0. Matthew Black Post.
Maflahe moves to approve the Class 1 entertainment license for Matthew Gladpost.
Second, Sirdike.
Motion by Maflahe, second by Sirdike to approve Class 1 live entertainment or mechanical reproduction for Matthew Gladpost. Maflahe?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Sirdike?
Yes.
Morano?
Yes.
Carried 4-0.
Maflahe moves to approve the Villa Banquet Center's Class 1 entertainment license.
Second, Sirdike.
Motion by Maflahe, second by Sirdike to approve Class 1 entertainment license for the Villa Banquet Center. Maflahe?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Sirdike?
Yes.
Morano?
Yes.
Carried 4-0.
Maflahe moves to table Sunny Reds and Jokers entertainment Class 1 license until their business license is amended.
Morano seconds.
Motion by Maflahe, second by Morano to table and Class 1 entertainment licenses for Sunny Reds and Jokers until their entertainment license is amended. Maflahe?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Sirdike?
Yes.
Morano?
Yes.
Carried 4-0. Class 2 entertainment license, coin-operated mechanical reproduction, Daggerty's Inc. / Canady's 2, 1254 Electric Avenue, Alvin Zells.
Maflahe moves to approve the Class 2 entertainment license.
Anderson second.
Motion by Maflahe, second by Anderson to approve Class 2 entertainment license. Maflahe?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Sirdike?
Yes.
Morano?
Yes.
Carried 4-0. Business registrations, do you want to take them separately?
Does the council want to take these separately, or do you want to take them together?
What about the aggregates? Did you do that one?
Yeah, we just did that, yeah. You want to take the business registrations together? Take them together.
Okay. Business registrations, Paint of Western New York, Hallease LLC, Buffalo Erie Sign and Lighting, Total Quality Assurance International.
Maflahe moves to approve businesses, licenses, registrations, A through B.
Morano seconds.
Motion by Maflahe, second by Morano to approve business registrations A through D. Maflahe?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Sirdike?
Yes.
Morano?
Yes.
Carried 4-0. Request to waive the rules.
Maflahe, motions to approve waiving the rules.
Morano seconds.
Motion by Maflahe, second by Morano to approve request to waive the rules. Maflahe?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Sirdike?
Yes.
Morano?
Yes.
Carried 4-0. Access of Western New York requests the use of the Lackawanna Senior Center for the second annual Heir of American Heritage Celebration on Saturday, April 26, 2025, from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Insurance is provided.
Maflahe moves to approve the request.
Second, Sirdike.
Motion by Maflahe, second by Sirdike to approve request. Maflahe?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Sirdike?
Yes.
Morano?
Recused.
Oh, sorry. Morano's recused. Carried 3-0.
Yes, 3-0.
Okay. Business registration, LA Village, Inc., Ridge Road, Ali College? Gas station convenience store.
Maflahe moves, motions to move the request and the business registration of LA Village to Mr. Ali Shalish.
Morano seconds.
Motion by Maflahe, second by Morano to approve request for business registration for LA Village. Maflahe?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Sirdike?
Yes.
Morano?
Yes.
Carried 4-0.
And a great congratulations. Finally, and we wish you great success there.
I second.
Tabled items. Remove item number 15 from the table. This was tabled at the March 18th, 2025 council meeting.
Item fails for lack of a motion.
Okay. Adjournment.
Any council members, any old business or any other further table items? If not, then Morano moves to adjourn.
Maflahe second.
Motion by Morano, second by Maflahe to adjourn meeting. Maflahe?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Sirdike?
Yes.
Morano?
Yes.
Carried 4-0.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.